Actually, no. Just B and C for Crossroads are in the two. The other two will be in the
Okay, it's 8 o'clock. We will call the Redevelopment Commission meeting to order. And our first point of business is roll call. Richard Wirtz present, Josh Prime.
Here.
BJ Deppie.
Present.
Ann McGinnis, absent. Paul Buting.
Here.
Deborah Gill.
Here.
We have a quorum, so we can get the meeting started. The first thing is the approval of the minutes of May 19th.
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You should have got claims yesterday. We have 2 claims.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve the claims.
Second.
We have a second. Any question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Any old business? Okay, we'll move on to new business. We have some resolutions. The first resolution, we will hold a public meeting on resolution number 2026-14, appropriation for power coding of stoplights US 31 corridor project. Any comments? The public meeting is closed. Need a motion to approve Resolution 2026-14, $199,179.93 for power coding of stoplights at US 31.
So moved.
Okay.
We have Matt.
I was going to give a little background
Oh,
on this
okay,
for you
Matt.
guys before you made a motion, but, so yeah, this is a change order. As you know, with the 31 project, the city of Franklin was responsible for all the trails and aesthetic items for that project. We were all in for roughly 4.5 million. So what we found during this change order was early last year, actually, and NDOT finally got it through. We like how they move slowly on things. But there were some items that, existing signal items or stuff that we typically like powder coated black. So in essence, we approved this change order because we wanted everything to match on the project. So that's where this price comes, and with the size of the project, obviously the 199 is a little shocking, but it's still only 4.5% of what we were all in for this project, construction-wise. So, any questions?
Any questions? It appears that you're moving along out there.
Yeah. There's some delays, but they're moving quite right along, and hopefully everything keeps going well, but we don't hold them up and get through the business part, real big part of town right now. So this is a stressful phase with all the businesses I know, so.
It's stressful when you try to go to those businesses.
Yeah. They've done a great job of maintaining access more than they were required to, actually. So that was a good milestone to keep some of the drives open, the street approaches, and some of the business approaches open during this phase.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, we have a motion to approve. Second, BJ. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Takes care of that one.
This will be- We'll come up for
Okay. Next, we have Resolution 2026-15 for $2,373,900 for engineering design of the roundabout and construction inspection at Scott Park project. We will open it up for a public meeting. Any questions? Okay, the public meeting will be closed. And Trent, you want to give us a little background on Resolution 2026-15?
Yeah, I'll give the kind of overall background, and then I might need help from Krista on why this is split into 2, I think, if it is, if I'm seeing that right.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
yes, one is for the roundabout construction and inspection. And then the other is the path. So yeah, we did do.
Okay, gotcha. So this might be split into two for your purposes, but it's all kind of one to us, right, and to the committee. So Scott Park is a project that we've been working on for close to a year now through planning, through Chip's office, but everybody on staff has been in these meetings, as well as Ann has been in these committee meetings, as well as Sean. And so basically, this supplemental, the original contract had the design of everything in Scott Park. So that is kind of redoing existing Scott Park, but then also adding everything north of the creek for the new portion of Scott Park. What we didn't have included in that original contract was the inspection of the project. And then also during this last year of the committee, the city decided to add an entrance roundabout off of Commerce and a path connection to get across the tracks and across the creek to connect to the path that's already on the south side to the east on Commerce. And then the roundabout will allow the path folks to cross from south to north going west on Commerce, where it goes all the way, on the north side, all the way to 31 and to the school and so forth, right? And so those elements were added. And so then, and it was kind of part of the reason that we didn't do an inspection in the original is because we didn't really know the scope of the project, what it was all going to be at the end of the day, and we didn't know the timing really then. So now we know through working through the committee that we're going to do this project over 2 years. So we're going to build the north side of the park first while the south side stays intact in 2027. And then we'll flip to the new part in 28 and rebuild the south part in 28. That'll allow everything to function during those years, but it spreads the time out. Again, the biggest part of this supplemental is the inspection because of the duration. Having said that, I think we've shown a very good track record of being under on those amounts. Those are hourly not to exceed amounts. So, we spend the time that we need to spend, but then if we don't spend it all, then it's left over and it goes back into your funds. And we've done that on a consistent basis. We'll work with Krista and Matt. We'll track it along the way. And we're very consistent in being able to, what we try to do is not come back to you for a supplemental. So we might be a little high on the not to exceed part of the inspection, but the rest of those items have to do with either minor things that got added in Scott Park, like some wetland investigation that we found out there. And then also some one from Kripe Architects for reimbursables, and then the design of the new facilities on Commerce. So that kind of addresses both of them, but I'd be happy to answer any questions. We're still focused as far as a timing on this to get design completed this year and potentially even break ground in 26, but if not, it would be in 27. And back to the schedule that I talked about as far as doing the north side in 27, getting it wrapped up so that the league can use it in 28.
Will it be, the original Scott Park be shut down in 28?
Yeah,
Renovation?
for reconstruction, yes, while the new part is open, yeah. And there's some connecting parts that we'll try to get done if we can ahead of time. And so, I really think the duration could be less than what we're saying. My hope is, but there's a lot of factors in that. But yeah, like the PED bridges connect the two parts. We might be able to get that all knocked out in the first time and so forth. And so, I think that the smaller part, which is the existing part of the park, could happen a lot faster, hopefully, than what we're allowing for. But we don't want to, in a situation where we're putting it out for contracts, we want to allow plenty of time and then beat it.
Sounds good. Any questions? Thank you, Trent.
Yep.
We need a motion to approve Resolution 2026-15 for $2,373,900 for engineering design of the roundabout and construction and inspection of Scott Park project.
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we'll move on. We have Resolution 2026-16, $1,810,000 for construction costs for Commerce Drive Roundabout and the Railroad Pedestrian Crossing. Trent? Oh, no, excuse me. I need to open this up for a public meeting. Any comments? Okay, the public meeting is closed. And Trent?
Yeah, I guess what dawned on me is that this piece is, everything else we talked about is the inspection and design pieces to get to the construction. And this is the added construction of the roundabout and the path.
It is, and I had to advertise these resolutions like before we actually had the contracts.
Yeah.
Just because we have to do it so far in advance.
But we have estimates.
So these are estimates for what this was, and then that's why they're separated out, and the amounts is just what we had in our cash flow, so. But yes, all the same project, and then these were just some kind of last minute changes along Commerce Drive for the.
Yeah, so these will be actual construction dollars, right? And this is an estimate now to get this in place on your books, but then we'll have an actual number when we get to the point where we have a contractor on board and have actual values.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Big project coming.
The Board of Works heard these contracts at their meeting last night and approved them contingent on redevelopment commission funding.
Yep, and I know it's a big project. If you're, obviously it's something that the RDC is very involved in. So if you'd ever, would like to sit down and go over this project, I'd be happy to do that, so.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, do you want to talk about the plan for funding?
Yeah, and also as we get a little further down the road, I plan on Trent coming and giving us a better look at what it's going to look like and where we're headed. But the design phase, this has taken forever, and it's not their fault. It just takes a long time. That's what it is with DNR and all that. And I get asked every day where we're at, like when's construction started, and that's the bad part about any good project that we see coming. Everybody gets excited and everybody wants to start now, and it just takes time. So we got to be patient. Overall in the design, we've got about $3.2 million, and it's coming from the RDC with our other resolutions that we've had for an earlier design and to get started. And then we've just added, we're also going to ask the RDC to pay for the roundabout, which we put in there is about 1.8 was the estimate. We hope it's real close to that. We'll find out. So the RDC is going to have about, we're going to have about $5 million in this part of it. And then we'll probably we're working with Jeff Peters now, trying to figure out the best way to finance it all. We'll probably pay a little bit of cash that we have in our edit funds, and then we'll probably go with a park bond of some sort, so for the rest of it. And the project is about anywhere between $30 to $35 million, but we don't have that total. There's a big range there. We don't have the totals yet. That's what we're doing, is trying to figure out where we're at, but the early estimates is $30 to $35 million. And the RDC, we hope to be able to pay the $5 million. We know we have the cash flow there, a little bit of cash, and then a part of a bond. So hopefully in the next 3 months, we'll be able to come back, give more detail, give better, pretty pictures of what we're trying to do, and move forward. So that's where we're at, and we appreciate the participation that the RDC has always taken and always wanted to be a part of the exciting things that we have going on. So any questions for me? Paul and BJ, your name tags are backwards there, by the way. Thank you.
Okay, any questions? So we need a motion to approve that? We need a motion to approve Resolution 2026-16 for $1,810,000 for construction costs for Commerce Drive Roundabout and Railroad Pedestrian Crossing.
So moved.
Have a motion?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, moving on, Resolution 2026-17 for $1.2 million for engineering, design, and construction and administration of the Franklin Aquatic Center. Open it up for a public meeting.
We'll do an introduction first. Chip, are you gonna introduce that? Okay.
Okay, I was
Then
gonna,
we'll do.
before the public meeting? Okay. Thank you, Chip.
Good morning. Chip Warner, Director of Parks and Recreation. This presentation is going to dial you back all the way back to about 2012. So back in 2012, we did a park bond back then. It is currently going off the books this year. So that was 15 years ago. We did a renovation to the aquatic center that you see today. That was the zero depth pool that was added. We replaced the water slide. We did a lot of mechanical upgrades to the pool, mainly to make it last longer, because swimming pools usually are going to last about 40 years. Our pool is 40 years old this year. It's also showing its age. It's got a lot of mechanical issues that require a lot of maintenance that have to be done. It needs a lot of big ticket items being done to it now. We did commission a study with HWC Engineering 3 or 4 months ago to give us an analysis of what the current situation was at the pool, whether it was worth renovating, whether it was worth scrapping and doing a new one someplace else, all those ranges. What we found is that it needs a lot of work done to it, basically because it's 40 years old. So I asked them to give us a recommendation. Is it worth doing what we did back in 2012 and trying to extend its life a little bit longer? Or is it worth going to build one someplace else? Or can we do a combination of both of those? What we found is probably the most economical thing to do is do a combination of both. Renovate what is good at the facility, make it last longer, and we can do that. But also at the same time, expand the facility, because if you come to Board of Works and City Council meetings, I know at least one person does, you hear me talk all the time about overcrowding and huge revenue at this facility, because it's a big revenue producer for the Parks and Recreation Department. What I have here for you today, and I don't know if Krista has it on the screen, but I have hard copies for you so you can at least pass them down and look at them. This is a design that, please understand, this is not the final design. This is pretty close to the final design of what we've come up with for the last 4 months that, or I should say a concept design that will renovate the current facility. It does make some modifications to the current facility. It saves what's able to be saved, but it also adds on to the facility, so it will be set up for the next 25, 30, 40 years. It doesn't require us to move to an off-site facility or, a piece of property someplace else in Franklin. It keeps it right next to the recreation center. We can use the current property that we have, so we don't have property costs and all those kind of things. It does expand it out. If you're familiar with the facility over there, it does expand it out toward the Rose Garden area. And it does require us to, we're going to tear down the park maintenance facility that's currently there, and we're going to relocate it to Scott Park, which also makes sense because that's where the growth in the park system's going. We've grown as much as we can kind of in the core of the city, but the trails on 31 and all the park development is basically going to be up to Scott Park or north at this point. So that kind of centralizes our park maintenance facility when we move it up there. When we tear down the current one, it also gives us plenty of parking spaces. And that's what you see on this design. It actually adds about 130 parking spots to this facility, because there's no reason to expand this facility if we do not expand the parking, because we already have a parking issue over there. So this allows us to do that. This is the first time we really talked about this in public, but there's a couple of features in here that are not on the south side of Indianapolis at any facility. One of them is a wave pool that you see on this design. There's also a bowl slide that's a raft slide. So if you don't know anything about water slides, it's, a parent and a child can ride down this water slide that looks, I call it a toilet bowl. But have you ever seen a toilet bowl slide? It's the easiest way I know to describe it. That's what number 15 is on there. And then adds a couple other water slides to the facility as well. Adds other things to it that we currently have needs for. We do a lot of party rentals and after-hour rentals that is a huge revenue producer for the facility. So it has some shelters that can be rented throughout the day. It has cabanas, if you've ever been to a water park. It has rentable cabanas that families can use. It does expand. If you're looking to the south of this, so if I start at number 4 on there, the facility is designed age-wise. So if you start at number 4, that's a kind of a zero-depth, flat spray features that you'd see for the tiniest little kids, right? As you go up into the facility, the age ranges change. Obviously, there's another play structure up there. We'll convert part of that pool, the existing pool, to a zero-depth pool. Not only because it's ADA accessible, but that's the kind of the popular trend in pools now. That's kind of the mid-age range, and then you go up a little further, and that's when you get into the adventure kind of stuff where you get to the water slides and wave pool and those kind of things. So, yes, the yellow there, it is not numbered, but you'll see there's a yellow thing there. The controversial thing on here is that we're going to get rid of the diving well at the pool, so we will get rid of the diving boards. It's mainly the only accidents that we've ever experienced in 20 years that I've been here is from the diving board. It's not from somebody going off the diving board, it's people falling off the back of them. That's where the issues are on diving boards. So we're going to get rid of the diving board and we're going to add a ninja course, which is very popular in aquatic facilities nowadays. Does renovations to the existing bathhouse, so we're not rebuilding a bathhouse, we're not rebuilding concessions, we're going to use a lot of infrastructure that's currently there. Yeah, so that's this design hopefully will set the city up longer than hopefully I'm ever here. This may last 25, 30 years. It's way more economical than building a new one. A new one today is probably, I'm going to guess, $40 million for a new aquatic facility if we were to build it someplace else. This facility will cost about $14.5 to $15 million to do this facility. But it does set us up for the next couple of decades. So I'd be more happy to answer any questions that you have.
How long will the pool be closed?
That's a great question. The pool will not be closed. So what we would do is this next season, so that's not this season, we would close the pool when school starts. So let's say that's August 5th, I believe, maybe off the top of my head. We'll close the pool on August the 5th. The construction actually can start on this newer section before that because it wouldn't affect the current facility. We'll close on August the 5th, and then all the other stuff would happen, and we would open back up in May of the next year, in 28. Yeah.
It'll be a nice addition for parking, because that's the only thing I ever hear is there's not enough parking.
Absolutely. It also helps us out the other parts of the year when the facility's not open, because we still have parking issues when there's a huge Beeson Hall rental and all those other kind of things, too, so.
I have a question, Chip.
Yes, please.
The dump area for the bowl slide and the not the wave pool. Well, the two slides that dump it.
Two slides, yeah.
Is there any kind of separation between the raft coming down and the body person, just the person coming down?
Thank you for asking that question, because I could tell you're an expert in this field. So that's not a plunge pool. Those are actually chutes that come out.
Okay.
So the actual will come out into, I know you've seen them, but most people may have seen them at water slides. It doesn't dump into actual water. It dumps out into a chute, and you just come out and it stops you.
Okay.
So there's also no height requirements on things like that. So littler kids can use water slides because you're actually dumping into 1.5 feet of water and not into an actual plunge pool, which is also way more economical to do. So great question. Thank you. They're all, only one water slide will dump into actual pool. The other one we're adding also comes out into a chute too, that you'll see down there toward the existing water slide. Number 2 would be a new one. It comes out into a chute as well.
Okay.
Okay, my part is always, how are we going to pay for this stuff, right? So staff and Chip and engineering firms, they do a great job of putting together of what they think that and input from citizens of what we would need. But paying for it's always the hard part. So again, you heard them talk about, you heard Chip say about a park bond that's getting ready to roll off. So what we'll do is combine these 2 projects, try to do these 2 projects at the same time. And again, we're asking the RDC at this time just to pay for the engineering part of it, just like we're doing at Scott Park. We're paying some of that cost with cash from the RDC. And then we'll get with Jeff Peters, as we're doing with Scott Park, add these 2 together and try to come up with the best way to finance it. I don't have all those answers yet. It is doable. We have, and it's something we should come back, like I said, in the next, when we get all the designs and have a further demonstration, we should have what we're going to do to finance it in the next 3 to 4 weeks. So that's where we're at, and it is doable, and I think we'll be happy for the upgrades for the city. So.
Mayor, will that be just one bond for both projects?
That is the way it looks like it's going to be, is one bond for both projects, with a lot of cash that we're kicking in. For an example, today, now we're up to the RDC with about $6.5 million from the RDC with what we're trying to approve today. So that part of the cash, and then, like I said, we'll have a little cash with edit, and then we'll have to do a park bond where one park bond is rolling off, and we'll be able to add to another park bond. So the impact is not going to be as difficult as one might imagine. So, any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. After that explanation, we will now open up for a public meeting for Resolution 2026-17 for the Engineering, Design, and Construction Administration for Franklin Aquatic Center. Any questions? Okay, we will close the public meeting. And back to the council, need a motion to approve Resolution 2026-17 for $1.2 million.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you, Chip and Mayor. Okay. Moving to other business, Krista, the May 2026 financial report.
Okay, so this will take you through year-to-date expenditures through the end of May of 2026. So to date, we have spent $1.8 million through the Redevelopment Commission through this fund. As you can see, the description of expenditures, we still have an outstanding $4.4 million. So I've updated the spending on all of these resolutions and then added the ones that were approved at your last meeting at the bottom. So the Earlywood interchange, Graham Road reconstruction, the right-of-way that was approved, and then the utility relocation, and then the actual Graham Road construction contract. So those were added to your TIF control. So looking at that with our year-to-date expenditures and then anticipated receipts, we will get those. That first disbursement will come this month in June from the county. So I will be able to update this line here for your next month's meeting. This is what we received last year at this time in June of 25. So remaining appropriations, 5.8, and then our estimated cash balance of 6.1. So that does not include the 4 resolutions that we just approved today, which is almost that amount. So I will show you that on the cash flow because those will not all be paid Obviously, there won't be construction inspection this year and some of those things. So cash flow wise, it still works, because some of those are split into multiple years. But that is, that will look very different, just so you know, when you get your June report, because we will add these resolutions to it. I did take the powder coating for the stoplights out of US 31. That resolution will come out of the US 31 TIF and not, as we have paid for all of that project out of the US 31 TIF, not the TIF control fund. So that will come out of this report. So we haven't really done anything out of this TIF this year other than make our bond payments. We did make the June payment, so that will look different next month as well, and then I will add that resolution that was just approved. So again, these are the numbers we received last year from those allocation areas, so $827,000. That's our bond payment that was made, and then we'll have another one that was made in June. So our cash balance, our remaining appropriations, so there's still a good balance in there even when we take that $199,000 out of there. Any questions on either of those?
Okay, thank you. Move to the June cash flow analysis.
So a lot of this is what we've been talking about as these resolutions have been approved, so I'll just give you some quick highlights. But the cash flow, so we did have a couple updates. As you recall, we did award the downtown parking study. So we had plugged that resolution in for $91,940 because that was the one proposal that we had, but we did end up going with a lower cost proposal from Walker Consulting for $62,000, so I updated that amount. And then the I-65 and Earlywood Drive interchange, our resolution was approved for $500,000, but the county is partnering with us on that. So I did reduce that resolution amount as well to show you that. I added the Graham Road reconstruction. These are the 3 resolutions that were approved last month. So that was added, and then the additional right-of-way costs and the Duke reimbursement. So those 3 amounts are shown there. So expenditures for this year will be just over $7.3 million. Our fund balance starting the year was the $7,605,000. This is our anticipated tax receipts, what we're spending, and so that would be our projected fund balance, which is what I showed on the last financial report. But on the next page is where you have the listing of projects under consideration. So these are the 4 in red. These 4 resolutions were just approved today. So I added those there. We did move the Franklin College Innovation Park, that ready match, to edit funds. And so there's a couple other things listed here, but those, if you can see at the bottom, that leaves our projected total funds balance at the end of the year at just over $1 million. So that's the difference between what we approved today and what showed on the May financial report. And then for 2027, we do have things planned there. Again, we have the possibility of a bond, and whether the Redevelopment Commission is going to be responsible for all of that payment or the park. So we're still, like the mayor said, working some of those details out. But I did update the Scott Park construction, the piece that the mayor mentioned earlier, from edit funds. So we have edit funds remaining in 2027 and 2028 before those go away with the property tax reforms. So $2.5 million of those edit funds have been pledged for 2027 and 2028 towards the Scott Park project. So that will reduce the size of the bond that we'll need to pass for both the Aquatic Center and Scott Park. So just wanted to update you on those. You can see that looked like a huge cash balance to me at the end of 2027, over 11 million. But that's without the resolutions that were approved today. So I went ahead and subtracted those. So that 5.8 million would be our cash balance at the end of 2027. So we still have room for some additional projects, or we can look at certain things that we can pay as we go instead of the bond amount. So those are all still in discussion.
Any questions? It's going to look a lot different next month.
Yes, it is.
Okay, Amanda, moving on to Aspire Johnson County update.
Good morning. Amanda Rebedew, Vice President of Economic Development with Aspire Johnson County. Got your monthly update here. You can kind of see with our month-to-month lead response activity. It does look like June is down a little bit, but that's not the full month. So we do expect that to be a little bit more down. Summer's just a little bit quieter. Spring and fall are generally our more activity, but May finished out very well. So seeing a lot more of those projects within our target industries coming through either the state or the chamber or coming directly to Aspire. So seeing a little bit more of the advanced manufacturing, seeing more defense bubbling to the top as far as companies and life sciences that are kind of moving right now and making some of those relocation expansion decisions. Still have those 5 active projects, hoping to see that job number drill down a little bit further as those move through the process. Krista, if you could flip to the next slide. Our outbound marketing touches still getting connected with our site selectors. Had 53 of those conversations between our brokers and site selectors so far this year. Just continuing to get highlight our assets with those folks, making sure that we are top of mind when their clients are looking to relocate or expand. A strategic plan was approved by our board and is currently being designed for print, so stay tuned for the pretty version. We'll be putting that out when that's ready to go. We're currently reviewing our website and marketing materials to better align with our new plan and with a site selector focus. Also laying out some of those KPIs and a timeline for the action step implementation. You know, we've got quite a few of those action steps that are not going to be done in the next 6 months. And so kind of laying out what makes the most sense, what we can kind of put together funding-wise. On the BRE side, Pat's continuing to meet with our local businesses, and I asked her for an update, and she said she is consistently hearing business is great, orders are up, things are going well. And so that is definitely positive. We're seeing just strengthening within our businesses. So far this year, workforce, we're hearing needs are steady. The quantity of applicants is still pretty consistent. The pool is very wide, not very deep. So still seeing, you know, quality challenges, and then also being able to keep those folks. We hear that if you can hang on to them for about 90 days, you can hang on to them for a lot longer than that. That's usually like that tipping point, if you can hang on to them for that long. It's just getting them to that 90 days that's a challenge. So. We do have, on our school to work update real quick, we do have 2 teacher field trips planned for the summer. The purpose of those is to provide our teachers with language as they are communicating with their students, as students are asking them questions about different careers. It's giving them perspective as to what that work environment looks like, what type of education requirements there would be to do to have a career like this, and to be able to keep our students here locally in our communities, letting them know of the super cool careers that we have here in Johnson County. So we've got 2 teacher field trips planned, one on June 30th, and that's careers in local government. And these are both that have been requested by our teachers. They want to better understand. They've had students that have asked these questions. And then on July 14th, law and public safety. We'll be doing our teacher field trip on those 2 topics. So if you know a teacher, check out our website, get signed up. These are free for our teachers to attend, and they get a really great bus ride and a bag with a granola bar in it. And just a really cool education and perspective. So any questions on our update and the things we've got going on so far?
Sounds like a busy summer.
Yes, yep, for sure. Thank you so much.
Any questions? Thank you, Amanda. Okay, moving to public comments and announcement. Start back there with Chip, Matt. Okay. Rob? Surely you got something. Surely. Good. Could you go up to the microphone? Please? I was told that if we don't get to the microphone, that people at home can't hear us.
Well, then we'll work on that. We have about 300 or 400 kids coming here in about 20 minutes for the summer break series, which has been averaging around 300 some to 400 some. Very good program. Tonight we will also have bingo, which is getting even more popular as we continue on that. But that with the author events has just been a very busy year. So, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So that's it.
Thank you. We appreciate all that you do downtown with bringing people in. Dana?
Downtown's staying super busy. We're really excited about that. This Friday is concert at the AMP, Jukebox Luke. Next weekend is Ethos Celebration of the Arts. It's going to be an entire weekend. Friday night before that is Canvas Clash, and even before that, you can go to the Bash Before the Clash at Main and Madison, which is a really cool idea. So that's an art contest. All day Saturday, we'll have Ethos. Then that evening, there's going to be an after-hours party at RFD. So chance for you to come and meet the artists and kind of just chill after a long, hot day. That's also Back to the Future 2. Trust me, Rita's not letting me forget that one. So it's a great movie at the Art Craft. And then Sunday is the John Strickland brunch at the Garment Factory. So we have really worked hard to make June Art Month in Franklin, and it is definitely being noticed regionally, getting lots of good traction and comments about that. So just keep that in mind and come out on Saturday and see some great art.
And the farmer's market.
And the farmer's market.
Okay.
I'm just going to queue up.
Rosie?
I think I'm next.
Yep.
Rosie Chambers, Franklin Chamber. Wanted to let you know, you mentioned it earlier about the 31 corridor, and it is super difficult to navigate it. So I wanted to give you an update on our Support 31 campaign that we're doing in partnership with the EDC and with the City of Franklin. One of the things is we have secured an intern for the Franklin Chamber. It is through the U.S. Army Career Skills Program, and so we've enlisted the help of, no pun intended, Master Sergeant Daniel Gordon is going business to business along 31 to distribute information about the project and help guide our businesses to where they can find resources, how they can, oftentimes they're dealing with an issue, whatever, that we can kind of funnel them to NDOT to answer those questions. So hopefully they're not coming in and calling the city on a regular basis. So that's been really good for us. He's been able to meet with everyone in Phase 3 for now, and then we're going to move on to Phase 4 as he has time. Also, part of that program is a social media campaign. Look for this to come soon by shopping on 31. You'll be able to get a tote bag, and we'll give some details about that. This tote bag says Franklin, Indiana, established 1823. We wanted to keep it kind of elevated, and we're able to do this with funds from the EDC. It also has a cute little bag tag that has Barry the Orange Barrel on there to remind people to shop local. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Hey, thank you for what you're doing and the communications. Is there anyone else that like to comment? Les? Okay. BJ?
No.
Paul? Josh?
I just want to say there's some really exciting times here in the next several years. Glad to be part of that.
It sounds very exciting, and June sounds exciting. Okay, Deb, here's something about the school.
Okey doke. In our last board meeting, the board proceeded voted to proceed with the purchase of John Alt's property at 355 North Morton, former Bud and Bloom and Franklin Insurance. We also approved new curriculum that was recommended by the teachers and Dr. Warland for K through 12. Revised student handbooks were approved, and that's elementary through high school. The boys' golf team is competing in the state finals today. Go Grizzlies. And the ribbon cutting and open house for Cub Academy is scheduled for August 29th from 10 o'clock to 11:30. Custer Baker Intermediate School will be celebrating its 50th year with an open house and trunk and tailgate party on September 18th from 4 to 6. That's it.
Okay. Krista?
I don't have anything additional.
Okay, our next meeting is July 21st. So,
Oh, we should have a presentation from Jeff Peters on the tax impact analysis. I need to confirm that he will have that done, and then I will also invite the other taxing entities to that presentation, and then that will also be made to city council as well.
will that be on the 21st?
It's supposed, that's the plan. I just need to confirm with him that he'll be able to get that done in time.
Okay. If there's nothing else, we'll adjourn our redevelopment commission meeting. Thank you, everyone, for attending.